Hi friends, this is part 2 of numerical values in periodontology. First question is critical temperature of bone cells. The critical temperature of bone cells corresponds to the temperature at which denaturation of alkaline phosphatase enzyme occurs. This is the main bone cell enzyme. This has been found to be as low as 47 degrees centigrade at an exposure time of 1 minute. Why this is important? Because when we are doing bone cutting, then if we are not doing proper irrigation, the bone temperature rises to 47 degree, and if this temperature is maintained for 1 minute, then there is death of this enzyme, so no osteogenesis will happen and then bone necrosis will occur. What are ADA, American Dental Association specifications of toothbrush? So they have said this is brush head. They have said that the length of brush head should be 1 to 1.25 inches. That is approximately 25.4 to 31.8 millimeter, and this is around 2.5 to 4 centimeter. Width of the brush head is 5 by 16 to 3 by 8 inches. That is around 8 to 10 millimeter. Bristles should be 2 to 4 rows. If you just see, these are the rows. So around 2 to 4 rows of bristles should be there. And in one row, there should be 5 to 12 tufts. So this is length of the brush head. This is width. These are the number of rows and these are the tufts. We all know that there are many types of toothbrushes which we use. Some people prefer hard toothbrush, medium hardness, or very soft toothbrushes. Nowadays soft are recommended. Bristle hardness is dependent on the bristle size. Hard toothbrushes, they have bristle size of around 0.4 millimeter diameter, medium have 0.3 millimeter and soft has 0.2 millimeter, and these have been represented in the inches too. Chlorhexidine gluconate mouth rinse. This is the gold standard anti-plaque agent. We all know 0.12% is the ideal anti-plaque concentration. Most formulations available commercially, they contain 0.2% concentration. So it has a dose dependent action. That means around 20 milligram of the dose has to go inside the mouth for one mouth rinse to have anti-plaque effect. So how it is used? We ask the patient to take 10 ml of the 0.2% solution. It has to be swished around in the mouth twice daily for 1 minute. This is a very important question they asked in Viva. Markings on periodontal probes. Most common probe which is used in the perio practice is Williams periodontal probe, or we call it as University of Michigan probe with Williams markings. Here we have 1, 2, 3 millimeter. Then 5, 7, 8, 9 and 10 millimeter. This ranges from 1 to 10 millimeter. 4 and 6 are missing. So as we have a convenience form. Like if we insert the probe in the pocket, it will be very difficult to read all the 10 millimeters continuously. So if we know the gaps, then it will be easy to read. University of Michigan probe has one more variant where it has 3, 6 and 8 millimeter markings. WHO or CPITN probe, Community Periodontal Index of Treatment Need probe. It has markings from 3.5, 8.5 and 11.5 millimeter. They have a black colored area of 3.5 to 5.5 millimeter. Based on these markings, they have also assigned the treatment scores. And it has a 0.5 millimeter ball at the tip so as to prevent the injury to the junctional epithelium. University of North Carolina and Marcus color coded probe. UNC probe is UNC 15. This is very importantly used especially when you are doing implantology practice, especially when you want to know the bone height on OPG and you want to know where the alveolar canal lies from the alveolar ridge height. Then these are the markings 1 to 15 and they have a 5 millimeter, 10 millimeter and 15 millimeter color zones. Then Marcus color coded probe has marking of 3, 6, 9 and 12 millimeters. This is Neighbors probe. We all know this is a curved probe. It has markings of 3, 6, 9 and 12 millimeters. calorimeter. This is a calibrated one. This is used to detect and measure the horizontal component of furcation involvement. This, if we see from the buccal surface, this can easily enter because it is curved. Then we can see that how much bone is lost horizontally because it is a calibrated one. And if we just cut this section and rotate the tooth, this is interproximal surface. So we can easily come to know that how much bone is lost horizontally. So it is the probe which is used to detect furcation invasions. Now coming to probing pressure. Probing pressure usually used with the manual probe ranges from 0.25 to 0.75 Newton per centimeter square. That is around 20 gram of the force. So this much force is important so that tip of probe remains within the junctional epithelium. It doesn't cross the junctional epithelium. But if we have to do the bone sounding, then we have to apply local anesthesia, and this is used to diagnose an osseous defect to know the osseous morphology. We pierce the junctional epithelium and connective tissue and reach the bone. The pressure required will be around 50 grams. Now coming to periodontal instruments, we know that on cross section, the angulation between the face of the blade with the lower shank or the terminal shank, which is in contact with the cutting edge or the working end of the universal curate, is 90 degree. That means if we just see from the tip of the curate, we see that terminal shank and face of the blade, they form a 90 degree angle. And if we see a Gracie curate or area specific curate, there is an offset angle of 60 to 70 degree. That means if we just see from the tip, we feel that this is curved in two directions. So there is an angle of around 60 to 70 degree. Now we come to angulation of instruments while activating the scaling instruments. The angle between the face of the blade of the instrument and tooth surface is known as the angulation. This is a very important principle of instrumentation. When we all know that when we have to insert the instrument subgingivally, the angle of insertion should be 0 or near 0. You can see that face of the blade is merging with the tooth surface. So the angle formed is 0 degree or near 0 degree. Angle of scaling and root planing is 45 to 90 degree. If you maintain this angulation, you will be easily able to engage the calculus and there will be easy removal of calculus. But if we have very close angle, less than 45, this will not be removed. We will lead to burnishing of calculus. And if there is too much heavy calculus, then this angle will be towards 90 degree. We don't use till 90 degree, but 45 to 90 degree is the range of the angle of scaling and root planing. If we see the angle of curettage, it should be obtuse so that there should not be any harm to the tooth surface, and cutting edge should engage the pocket lining. So you can very well appreciate in this diagram that angle of the curettage, that is the angle between face of the blade and tooth surface, should be a obtuse angle, that is more than 90 degree. Coming to sharpening angle. During sharpening of the curate, the angle between the face of the blade and surface of sharpening stone should be 100 to 110 degree. To maintain the angle between face and lateral surface of the blade, that is around 70 to 80 degree, because the cross section of curate is semicircular and cross section of sickle scaler is triangular, and this is the angle between face of the blade and lateral surface. This is around 60 to 70 degree. So accordingly we can adjust the sharpening angle. Thank you. Good day.